You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. I think it's safe to say we've all been there trying to make that tough choice between an afternoon spent indulging in Italian art song and arias or spending time outdoors and making the most of summer and engaging in a little bit of friendly competition and a round or two of bocce. Well, thanks to Flipside Opera and Art Song Collective, we don't have to make the choice. Every-bocce loves opera. It takes place this weekend, and to hear more about it, I'm joined by Flipside's Lisa Rumpel and Judith Oatway. Welcome back to Classic 107.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks for having us.
Thrilled that you're here and thrilled to be talking about this very fun event. But before we get to that, we're in the middle of a very busy week for Flipside, aren't we?
Yeah, we just had an Opera by the Pint, our last one for the summer, which was a blast. It was also quite windy, but we all survived it. So, we had that at Little Brown Jug. And then this Sunday, we have Every-bocce Loves Opera.
I was just thinking about Opera by the Pint, and of course, it's just such a wonderful evening. It always is. But is it safe to say the windiest opera on Pint on record? Is that fair to say?
It was pretty scary at times, like especially when people went up in the balcony. I was a little nervous, but it went well.
And what was super cool was that there were some songs where I swear the wind was like a duet partner. There would be big gusts in the more stormy parts of the song, and then it would be relaxed. It was actually quite phenomenal. And then we also had the storm aria from Filomena, which was perfect for that night.
Tempting fate.
Exactly. You're really pushing things.
Yeah.
But let's just, I assume the wind just helped carry the beautiful singing a little bit further into the neighborhood, right?
Maybe.
So lovely stuff. And now you're back at it with the annual fundraiser for Flipside on Sunday. Lisa, whose idea was it to combine opera and bocce?
This is all Judy. Judy is a pro bocce player.
Oh, no,
she's
not.
a cabin player, and so the idea was just that. We love the Italian operas and art songs, and it seemed like a unique and fun way to get people out and maybe a different crowd or a combination of different crowds that could enjoy all the different elements of the day.
You mentioned, Judy, Lisa mentions about how you're a competitive cabin player, and that may be a place where people have played bocce before, right? It's one of those things you typically do outside, very portable. You just kind of bring the kit and show up, and you just need a little bit of space. But for those uninitiated who haven't played, who aren't pros like yourself, can you tell us a little bit about the sport?
Oh gosh, well, I've learned recently that it's super old. It's been like thousands of years that we've seen bocce played in like Egypt even. I was reading about it because I thought that was kind of cool history. But so it's like, I've played on all kinds of surfaces, beautiful lawn, also like rough and ready cabin spaces where trees were once. So I think it's sort of like lawn bowling, a little bit like bowling to me. Curling as well is how I kind of think of it. You've got the paloma, the like white ball that you throw, and then you're aiming for that, and you can play in teams or individually, and it's a pretty chill, relaxed sport, which I think is great for summer, and I think that works really well for us too. So the competition level, maybe not everyone will feel this, but I don't think it's super high.
It's kind of nice, and combining these two kind of quintessentially Italian things, right? Bocce and opera, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. Now, I'm just curious, when it comes to Flipside's version of bocce, you mentioned that the competition might not be too high, but are there any sort of like special rules? Like, do you need to be hitting the high notes as you're tossing the ball? Is there any of that stuff going on?
I think the most important thing is to have a drink in hand. That really helps you stay focused on your game. I think we're going to do it that the games at this one will have a time limit of about 25 minutes because people really enjoyed it last year, and we don't want to slow their fun. So, and then we'll just go by points for these ones. So wherever we end up at the end of that time is where the games will kind of finish. So,
and there will be a head-to-head face-off at the end of the two top-scoring teams. So that will be
that's the place to add your high notes.
Now, there will be some people there who are prepared to hit the high notes. Can you tell us about who's going to be performing, Lisa?
For sure. So last year we had all of our former Opera Idol winners, or almost all. Mine is Jessica Koswitcher. She was not available last year, so we're thrilled to have her this year as a soprano. We have Megan Reimer, a mezzo-soprano who recently moved back from Germany. She's originally from around here, and so she's coming out all the way from Winkler to sing some awesome Italian opera. We have Justin Oatway, who I'm sure maybe has been here before.
He sure has.
Yeah.
In a number of capacities, actually, as a soloist and as a conductor.
Perfect. Yeah. So he'll be singing blasting some tenor arias and things. And then last of all, we have Scott Braun, a local baritone who is well connected in the community, done lots with LOC and even with us as well. So yeah, we think it's a pretty great group.
And at the keyboard.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. How, as the
I was going to say, I was waiting for you as the collaborative pianist in the room.
How shameful. Yes, our collaborative pianist often is Dina Greer, and she's so flexible and so up for anything. We're super lucky to have her around with us.
Now, I'm curious about how the performances will take place. Will they be taking place between rounds, Judy, or while the bocce rounds are going on? What's the afternoon going to kind of be like?
Yeah, so everything gets going at 1, and shortly after that, we'll have our first round of bocce. And then the performances are sort of in between the rounds. So even those people who are playing, even if they're in an intense game, they'll be able to leave that for a few minutes and take a break. So it'll sort of like be a lasagna of bocce.
Oh, no way. Very good analogy.
And
yes.
and so in that in-between time too, if you're a spectator, you can also watch the bocce and cheer your favorite team on or whatever, or you can also go inside. Then we're going to have a silent auction as well with some awesome prizes, so you can do that. So there's a little bit of flexibility there, of moving around the space.
You mentioned the silent auction. Of course, there is that friendly competition that is bocce. There is the music that is going to be performed, all of these arias. This is a fundraiser for Flipside. For those unfamiliar, can you tell us a little bit more about the organization and what the support goes towards?
Yeah, for sure. So, we have our year, which includes our Opera by the Pines, and we also work towards putting together sort of curated performances, and we're leaning more towards art song in the last little while. So last year we had a really fantastic show of all Black American female composers, and this year we're doing similar things but with completely different types of music. So we'll be announcing that fairly shortly in September, and that's what that money will go towards, helping us continue to bring these sort of like curated concerts of art song and opera.
Yeah, Flipside doing some great programming, that's for sure. And looking forward to hearing more about them. We'll have to have you back. But in the meantime, the fundraiser taking place at Riverview Community Center. That's this Sunday, 1 p.m. Lisa, there's still time to register to play, right?
There is, yeah. Till 5 o'clock today, you can register to play bocce. And then until Sunday morning, you can register to come. You can
get a ticket.
You can buy a ticket to come. Yeah, and kids are free, but do need a ticket as well.
And as you mentioned, getting a ticket means you're not playing, but you're still supporting. You're taking in the art song. You're taking in the competition. You're indulging in the silent auction and all that. Just spending an afternoon outside, right?
Yes, and I mean, I am not any good at bocce, and so my area of competition would definitely be the raffle and the 50-50. You got to enter a 50-50. You just might win. So yeah, it's just to relax and hang out with your friends, drink some drinks, have some ice cream. We have Fett ice cream.
Oh, no way.
We
so
have
good.
drinks from LBJ, and it'll just be a nice little afternoon.
One last thing, a very important thing. Where can people go to register and get tickets?
Great question. Flipsideopera.com.
That's the place to go. Lisa, Judy, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Every-bocce Loves Opera takes place this Sunday, 1 p.m. at Riverview Community Center as we hear a little bit of opera. This is none other than Tracy Dahl performing.